Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're tackling something that I think frustrates a lot of us. A new kind of AI that promises to solve one of the biggest headaches in technology. It's absolutely terrible memory.
So let's just dive right in with a question. And I bet this is going to sound familiar to a lot of you. You're working on a project, you're deep in it with your AI assistant, you come back the next day and poof, it's forgotten everything. It's almost like your AI has a serious case of digital amnesia.
And yeah, that's really the heart of the issue, right? Today's large language models, well, they really struggle with keeping context. They forget what you talked about yesterday, they get your projects mixed up, and you find yourself constantly having to re-explain the same basic stuff over and over. They're incredibly powerful for sure, but also so forgetful.
And look, this AI amnesia, it's not just a minor annoyance. For any kind of professional work, it's a massive roadblock. Consistency and having that project memory, well, that's everything.
And here's the thing, the really crucial piece of the puzzle. These AIs we have now, they're amazing generalists, right? They can whip up a poem one minute and a marketing plan the next. But their fundamental architecture, it just wasn't built for a persistent, long-term memory. Pretty much every time you talk to it, you're starting from scratch.
But what if we just flipped that whole idea on its head? What if instead of another generalist, we built an AI that was a true specialist, one designed from the ground up with a flawless photographic memory just for your work?
Okay, so this new way of thinking is built around a concept called a Hierarchical Reasoning Model, or HRM for short. And really, the magic is all right there in the name. It uses a hierarchy to think, blending that high-level, long-term strategy with super-fast tactical execution. And the best part? It's all powered by a memory that literally never forgets.
All right, so that's the big idea. But how does it actually work? Well, the secret sauce is in its architecture, which is best to think of as a kind of two-brain system.
So it's got this dual architecture, and honestly, the best way to picture it is like a well-run company. First, you've got the strategic brain, which is Module H. Think of this as the CEO. It has the big picture, oversees all your different projects, and it's in charge of that all-important long-term memory. And then you've got the tactical brain, Module L. This is your specialist, your expert on the ground floor, executing a very specific task using the precise context that the CEO gives it. And that separation, that's the real genius here. The planning is completely separate from the doing. And this is what lets the AI juggle multiple, incredibly complex, and totally unrelated projects without ever getting them confused.
Okay, so theory is one thing, but let's see how this two-brain system handles a real-world pressure cooker situation. Imagine this. You have to jump between two completely different clients, and you have to do it instantly.
So you jump in, and you tell the AI, hey, continue that architectural analysis of microservices we started last week. Now, with a normal AI, you know the drill. You'd probably have to feed it the documents again, re-explain the goals, the tech stack, all of it.
But with this system, the strategic brain just goes, yep, got it. Client A, microservices. It pulls up the entire project history instantly. Then it passes the baton to the tactical brain, which gets right to work, picking up exactly where you left off, like not a second has passed.
But then, bam, you get a message from your boss. You got to switch gears right now. You fire off a completely different request about a marketing report for a totally different client, Client B. Now, this is the exact moment where most AIs would just fall apart, right? They'd start babbling about marketing metrics in a tech analysis. And get this, the switch happens in less than 50 milliseconds. I mean, that is literally faster than you can blink. The strategic brain just perfectly and cleanly parks the entire context for Client A, and in the same breath, loads up everything it knows about Client B's Facebook campaign.
And the result? Zero contamination. Absolutely none. You are not going to find a single word about microservices in that marketing report. Each project, each client, lives in its own perfectly sealed, isolated memory bubble. For anyone who juggles multiple projects, this is, and I mean this, an absolute game changer.
But you know, this kind of incredible performance, it doesn't just happen by magic. It's the result of a really deliberate choice. The choice to be a deep specialist, not a jack of all trades. And that choice? It comes with a pretty major trade-off. So here's the deal, plain and simple. On the one hand, what you gain is just
brutal efficiency, perfect memory, flawless context switching. Because it all runs on your local machine, you get total data privacy and you're not paying for API calls or tokens. On the other hand, what you lose is that general-purpose versatility. This is not your friendly conversational chatbot. It's not going to brainstorm random ideas with you or talk about pop culture. It is a scalpel, not a Swiss Army knife.
So, okay, let's cut through all the hype. What does this actually mean? What's the big takeaway here?
And really, the most important thing to understand is this. This tool isn't here to kill ChatGPT or other general AIs. Not at all. It's about creating a whole new category of tool. This is a power tool for your brain, you know? It's perfect for complex work like consulting or tech support or deep analysis where remembering the context is absolutely critical. It's not a friendly assistant. It's a specialized reasoning machine.
And so this all leaves us with a really provocative question, one for all of us to think about for our own digital toolkits. As these different kinds of AI continue to evolve, which one are you going to reach for? The super efficient specialist that remembers every single detail of your work, or the friendly, creative generalist that gives you a completely clean slate every single morning? The answer to that question will probably shape the future of how we work.